Hey everybody, it's Brighton the Stamp Girl again. I'm accomplishing 3 things in one with this card this week. First of all, it is to show you guys a cool technique that I call the sewing technique. It's also a response to a card challenge and it's a thank you card for my neighbor. So here I'm showing you guys that you can use an 8.5 by 11 piece of cardstock, cut it in half to make 2 cards out of it. I told you last time that I just used the pack of cards that I got that are already cut and scored, which normally I do, but I thought I would show you guys how you can just use a regular piece of cardstock to make your own card. And that's just my Cricut cutter, which I love. It came with a scoring blade, which is a really nice scoring blade, and it's a nice cutter because it cuts 12 by 12 pieces of cardstock. So there's my card base. And like I said, this is a card challenge, and we'll just speed this up real quick. And so here's the link to the blog where I got the card challenge from. You can go and either look on my blog or on the link to that blog and check out the sketch and see. You can see my interpretation of their sketch and also other people's cards. It's kind of fun to watch, and I love doing card challenges. It's so much fun to watch everybody. How they interpret the sketch and just see the different styles that you can get out of one sketch. It's so funny how different every card is. So I'm just following the sketch here. And I'm sorry I don't have measurements for you guys. I kind of was just doing it as I went along. So I don't have measurements for anything on this today other than the card base, which is just the normal card base. So, oh, and I wanted to give a shout out to my followers. I'm so excited I have followers, guys. This was so exciting to me when I got a little email saying that I had followers. So thanks, guys, for making me feel better about myself. So here I'm just stepping aside. I'm going to do the sewing technique. Basically what you do is you put some adhesive on the 2 pieces of paper, and then you use your sewing machine and just do a simple sewing stitch down it. I did a zigzag stitch, and then I'll show you how to pull the strings through. So you have a string that sticks out the front and one that sticks out the back, and what you do is you pull on the one on the back and it'll kind of loop the one on the front through, and then you just with your fingers pull it the rest of the way through. That way you can tuck them behind and you don't have loose strings hanging out your card, because that's a little tacky. So I just snip them off and then tape it down with just some normal Scotch tape on the back so that they aren't hanging out on the front of my card. So there's the sewing technique. It's fun to do, adds an extra pop to your card. And this was a gift from one of my friends. It's for scrapbooking, and they're just the cardstock stickers. I figured I'd use them on my card because it is for my neighbor who is a guy, and so he doesn't really care for ribbon or anything like that. So I thought I'd keep it simple and use up these since they were a gift. And I'm not too big into scrapbooking. I like making cards more because I can give them away, and I'm horrible at keeping a scrapbook. I keep all of my pictures on my computer, and I'm so bad at printing them out, but I wish that I was better so I could scrapbook my little girl's few months of life so far. So I just adhered that to the front of the card with some mono adhesive, and then I'm using some more of these stickers for the bottom left hand corner of this card, and I decided to use the yellow one to tie in the yellow that I'm going to use on the face of the card too. So if you check out that sketch, you'll see that I'm just following the sketch pretty closely, but still making it my own. And these are just some more stickers. They're little stars. You can use pretty much anything to use on the face of your card. You can use buttons or flowers or mini brads or eyelets or whatever you want to use. Get creative. Stickers. So I'm just cutting down this yellow piece of paper, and later on I realized that it is a little bit too small for what I'm doing, but like I said, I'm just making this as I go, so I didn't really know what I was doing yet. I hadn't even picked up my stamp set yet. So please forgive me for my unorganized video. So I am going to cut out a circle. I finally decided on the stamp set that I was going to use, and it is a stamp set by Inkadinkado. It's round framed sayings, and it comes with the 3 circle frames, and they're super cute, and then a bunch of sayings that you can put in the middle of them, so you can use it for pretty much anything, which I like the fact that you can use it for any occasion, so it's really nice. And here I'm just taping down a piece of paper, and that is the Martha Stewart circle cutter. I got it at Walmart. I didn't think that I would like this circle cutter, but I actually do. It cuts really nicely if you use a self-healing mat. I cut it on this foam thing, and it kind of made the edges a little bit fuzzy because I didn't use a self-healing mat. So, note to self for next time, don't use the foam mat, use the self-healing mat. Which I'd never cut it on the foam mat, so I didn't realize that it was going to leave fuzzy edges, so I just trimmed them up and it still looked fine. But yeah, the Martha Stewart cutter is actually really nice. I thought it turned out way better than I was expecting. The only thing is you do have to tape your paper down, which isn't really that big of a deal to me. And it cuts super crisp, really nice circles, and it cuts up to like, I think 5.5 inches, inch circle, and it cuts like every 1/8 of an inch, so you seriously can make so many circles out of this. So I realized that my yellow paper was too small, so I'm cutting it bigger so that it'll be a little bit bigger than the circle is. And again, I'm sorry I don't have any dimensions for you. I just kind of made it as I went, so that fit nicely inside. And then I'm going to round the edges of that square. This is just a corner rounder that I got at my local craft store. I love the corner rounder. I think it makes a card look so classy, and you can dress it up so quick. It looks like you spent a ton of time when really you spent no time at all. So I love that you can dress up a card so easily with the corner rounder. And that's just a Studio G ink pad. I'm just distressing the edges and then blotting it on the front of the card to make it have the distressed look. And that's super easy to do. You just rub the ink pad on the edges, or you can rub the paper on the ink pad. Either way, it works fine. And then you can use a sponge or any kind of sponge dauber to distress the face of the cardstock, but I just rubbed the ink pad on it, which usually you can do that too. It's pretty easy to do. So here I'm just going to stamp my image in the center of that circle. Sorry, my head got in the way. I'm still an amateur movie maker. Sorry, guys. But I appreciate your comments and your pointers on how I can make it better. So I'm just going to distress the edges of this paper too, just to tie it all together and make it all match. I'm just seeing how it'll look. And then I'm going to distress the edges of my card as well. Usually if I distress one thing, I like to do it to a couple other things just to make it all tie in together, make the card look like it's all matching and like it all goes together. And then I just blotted the front of the card too, just like I did that circle, and then using some mono adhesive to tack it down. And then again for the yellow piece to stick it onto the card. So there's my card for you guys. I hope that you enjoyed it. As always, please leave me comments. And be sure to check out my blog. Thanks, guys!